All right, a couple of things to think about when you are creating an activity or a lesson in Notebook. And one of the main things you want to think about is how does it actually look on the screen? Sometimes you create something on your computer at home or away from your smartboard, and then when you put it on the screen, it doesn't always work. A big example of that is colors. You can change the background color of your slide, and so you can pick a different color. You're going to find though that some colors may be either really hard on the eyes, they may be hard to differentiate the different colors that you put on top of them. It may look fine on your screen, but you want to always check. But that is an option, is to change the background color. You do that by clicking on Format, Background, and then your Properties tab comes up, and so you can pick whatever color you'd like. And it's a good idea to just test some of them to see what's easy to read and what is hard to read. Also is the same for writing in text. Certain colors are going to show up better, of course, on certain backgrounds, and that's something that you want to keep in mind. Also, that just when you're thinking about that this is something that kids are going to be looking at, while you want it to be visually appealing, you also want to make sure it's not overly cluttered or distracting. There's lots of fancy images and fancy pens and such you can get into, but they can sometimes, I think, take away from sort of your main teaching point. If you sort of try and fancy it up too much, you end up, I think, losing your kids. Something you always want to think about when you're creating something is what it looks like on the screen for your students. So here's an example of a slide that's made. It has some information. Visually, though, you may find it a little bit hard to read. There's a couple sections where the text is maybe hard to read. We've got an image that's sort of turned sideways. So think about this image, and then let's just take a look at another one that is conveying very much the same information, but done in sort of a much more visually appealing way, a much clearer way for students, and that's something certainly to think about. While you can experiment with background colors, sometimes it's more effective to just go with something that's clean and easy to see. Within the gallery, which we get into by clicking on this image here, there's something called the Lesson Activity Toolkit, and this will be installed in your gallery already. If we click down on here, there's all sorts of things that come already programmed into your computer. There's examples of things people have done, there's different activities, there's games, but there's also something called Pages, and if I click on Pages, it then gives me a whole bunch of sort of templates that then I can use to build a page like this that is very clean looking, very easy, it's already sort of stylized. So within Pages, I look under Lesson Pages, and I can pick sort of any of these. Actually, let's just go and see all of them. And along through the side, they have in all sorts of different colors things that you can use to sort of build a page like this. So it doesn't really matter what sort of color you like, but you can grab anything and just drag it over here, and it'll insert a new page. And so here's an example of a type of page that's already in the gallery that then you can edit by changing the text. You can put new text on, you can put new images on, but it means rather than working from a blank page and feeling you have to create what the page looks like, you can start with something that's already in your gallery. So again, Lesson Activity Toolkit, and then Pages, and then there's a whole bunch of different options of all sorts of different things depending on what you're looking for. And again, it's worth taking some time to just explore in there and find some things that will work.